The Fulton County Courthouse in Atlanta has processed over 50,000 criminal cases in the past decade. Most of them follow a predictable pattern. Defendant walks in, pleads guilty or not guilty, case moves forward. But on a humid Thursday morning in September, a 34-year-old black woman named Keisha Williams walked into Courtroom 6B barely able to stand upright. Her hands trembled so violently she couldn't hold the documents she'd brought. Her eyes were swollen from days of crying. And when civil rights attorney Ben Crump asked her to state her name for the record, she collapsed into the witness chair and began sobbing so hard that the entire courtroom fell into shocked silence. What happened to Keisha Williams over the past 6 months represents something far darker than a simple wrongful arrest. It reveals a pattern of systematic targeting, evidence tampering, and civil rights violations so disturbing that when Ben Crump finally exposed the truth, 3 police officers would be suspended, a police captain would resign, and the FBI would launch a federal investigation into the Atlanta Police Department's treatment of black women that continues to this day. But before we dive into this story that will fundamentally change how you see the justice system, I need you to hit that subscribe button right now because we're racing towards 600,000 subscribers and 96% of you still haven't subscribed to our channel. If this story about a mother fighting to clear her name and reclaim her life moves you, if it makes you think differently about who the system protects and who it destroys, leave a comment below telling us where you're watching from. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand why Ben Crump didn't just defend Keisha Williams in court. He pulled back the curtain on a conspiracy so deep that it exposed how an entire police unit had been systematically targeting black women for arrests, planting evidence, and falsifying reports for years. And what he revealed in that courtroom didn't just save one woman. It potentially freed dozens of others who'd been sitting in prison cells for crimes they didn't commit. Here's a question I want you to think about. Have you ever been accused of something you didn't do, and no matter how much you told the truth, no one believed you? Have you ever felt the crushing weight of knowing the system is rigged against you before you even walk through the door? Because what happened in Courtroom 6B that Thursday morning proves that sometimes, just sometimes, one person with enough courage to dig for the truth can bring an entire house of lies crashing down. And for Keisha Williams, that one person was Ben Crump, the attorney who's made it his life's mission to fight for those the system has thrown away. But what made this case different, what made Ben Crump's strategy so shocking, wasn't just that he proved Keisha's innocence. It was how he did it, and what he uncovered in the process that nobody, not the prosecutors, not the judge, not even Keisha herself, saw coming. Thursday morning, 9:30 a.m., Fulton County Courthouse, Courtroom 6B. Ben Crump sits at the defense table when his paralegal Monica whispers urgently, "Mr. Crump, she's here, but I don't think she's going to make it through this." Ben Crump looks toward the doors and sees Keisha Williams being helped inside by her sister. The official charge sheet reads, Keisha Marie Williams, age 34, charged with felony possession of narcotics with intent to distribute, resisting arrest, and assault on a police officer. Maximum sentence, 15 years. But the woman walking toward the defense table looks nothing like a hardened criminal. She looks like someone who's been through hell. Keisha enters wearing a wrinkled blouse that hangs loose on her frame. She's lost 23 pounds since her arrest 6 months ago. Her hands shake uncontrollably, not from drugs, but from pure trauma. She keeps glancing toward the back of the courtroom where 3 Atlanta police officers sit in uniform, arms crossed, watching her. Every time Keisha sees them, she flinches. Her entire body screams, "I'm not safe." Ben Crump stands, his voice gentle. "Ms. Williams, please sit down. Take your time. We're going to get through this together." Keisha perches on the edge of the chair like she's ready to flee. Judge Marion Thompson, a black woman in her late 50s, looks down from the bench with an expression that reveals she's already read Ben Crump's preliminary motions. She knows something unusual is about to happen. "Ms. Williams," Ben Crump begins calmly, "I need you to tell this court what happened on March 15th. Start from the beginning." Keisha opens her mouth, but nothing comes out except a strangled sound. She tries again. I was just... Her voice cracks. Tears stream down her face. "I was picking up my daughter from school." The simple statement hangs in the air. A woman picking up her child doesn't align with the drug dealer image the prosecution painted. Ben Crump waits. The courtroom is silent except for Keisha's quiet crying. After a full minute, she wipes her eyes and tries again. My daughter Trinity, she's 7. I pick her up every day at 3:15 from Parkside Elementary. March 15th was her birthday. I had cupcakes in the car. Pink ones with sprinkles. Her favorite. Keisha clutches the table edge. I was 2 blocks from the school when a police car pulled up behind me. No lights, no sirens. Just following me. What did you do? Nothing. I wasn't speeding. My registration is current. I thought they were going the same direction. But then I turned left, they turned. I turned right into the school parking lot. They followed. That's when the lights came on. The courtroom goes still. I pulled into a space, put the car in park, turned off the engine, put my hands on the steering wheel because I'm a black woman in Atlanta and I know how this goes. I did everything right. Judge Thompson leans forward. The 3 officers in the back shift uncomfortably. Ms. Williams, what happened next? Keisha closes her eyes. 2 officers got out. One came to my window, knocked really hard, yelled, "Roll down the window now." I rolled it down immediately. My daughter's car seat was in the back. The cupcakes in the passenger seat. I said, "Officer, is there a problem? I'm just here to pick up my daughter." What did the officer say? He said I matched the description of a suspect. I asked what suspect. He just kept yelling, "Get out of the car now." So I got out. I asked if I could call someone to pick up my daughter because school was letting out. He ignored me. The other officer was searching my car without asking, throwing things out, dumping the cupcakes on the ground. Pink frosting everywhere. Trinity's birthday cupcakes, just destroyed. The detail about the cupcakes hits everyone. It's specific, visceral, real. Ms. Williams, what happened next is crucial. Tell the court exactly what the officers said they found. Keisha's crying intensifies. The officer searching my car suddenly yelled he found something. He held up a plastic bag with white powder. I screamed, "That's not mine. I've never seen that before." But he just smiled and said, "That's what they all say." Subscribe to our channel right now if you believe the justice system needs to protect innocent people instead of destroying them, because what Ben Crump reveals about that plastic bag will shock you. Where exactly did the officer say he found this bag? Under the passenger seat. But Mr. Crump, I clean my car every week because Trinity has allergies. There was nothing under that seat. That bag was not in my car. Ben Crump raises his hand, signaling he'll address this point. What happened after they claimed to find the drugs? Keisha's voice drops to almost nothing. They arrested me right there in the school parking lot. Handcuffed me, put me in the police car. Parents were arriving. People I knew from church saw me in handcuffs. And Trinity. Keisha breaks down completely. Trinity came out and saw her mama being taken away. She was screaming, "Mama, Mama," and I couldn't even hug her. I couldn't explain. They drove me away while my 7-year-old daughter stood there screaming on her birthday. The image is devastating. Judge Thompson closes her eyes briefly. Ben Crump lets the moment sit, lets everyone feel the weight. Then he asks the question that will unravel everything. Ms. Williams, in the 6 months since your arrest, what has happened to your life? Keisha looks up, and there's something beyond sadness now. Quiet, burning rage. Everything. I lost everything. They took everything from me. Ben Crump's voice is steady, but there's steel underneath. Ms. Williams, when you say you lost everything, I need you to be specific. Tell this court exactly what happened after your arrest. Keisha takes a shaky breath and begins. They took me to the police station. I asked to call my sister to get Trinity from school. They said I'd get my phone call later. Later turned into 6 hours. 6 hours while my 7-year-old waited at school, terrified, not knowing where her mother was. Did you eventually get to make that call? Yes, at 9 p.m. that night. My sister had already gotten Trinity, but my baby had been crying for hours thinking I abandoned her. Keisha's hands gripped the table harder. They charged me that same night. Felony drug possession with intent to distribute. They set bail at $50,000. Mr. Crump, I'm a medical billing specialist. I make $42,000 a year. I didn't have $5,000 for a bail bondsman, let alone $50,000. Judge Thompson writes something down, her expression darkening. How long were you in jail, Ms. Williams? 17 days. 17 days in Fulton County Jail while my daughter stayed with my sister. When I finally got out, my job called me. They said because I'd been arrested on felony drug charges, I was terminated immediately. Hospital policy. Didn't matter that I hadn't been convicted. Just the arrest was enough. Ben Crump lets that sink in. An arrest, not a conviction, cost her job. What else happened? Keisha's voice becomes hollow, detached. My ex-husband, Trinity's father, he filed for emergency custody 3 days after my arrest. Said I was a drug addict, unfit mother, danger to our child. We'd had joint custody for 3 years with no problems. But suddenly, because of this arrest, I'm dangerous. Did he get custody? Keisha nods, tears flowing freely now. Emergency hearing happened while I was still in jail. I couldn't even defend myself. Judge granted him temporary full custody. I went from seeing my daughter every day to supervised visitation once a week for 2 hours. 2 hours, Mr. Crump. With a court monitor watching us like I'm some kind of monster. The courtroom is riveted. This isn't just about drugs anymore. This is about a mother's entire life being systematically destroyed. Ms. Williams, did losing your job affect anything else? Everything. I couldn't pay rent. Got evicted after 2 months. I'm living with my sister now, sleeping on her couch. My car got repossessed because I couldn't make payments. My credit score went from 720 to 480. I can't get another job in medical billing because the background check shows a pending felony. Ben Crump turns slightly toward the 3 officers in the back. Ms. Williams, during those 17 days in jail, did anyone from the police department interview you about the drugs they claimed to find? No. Nobody asked me anything. But the other inmates, they talked. And Mr. Crump, 3 other women in my cell block, all black women, all arrested by the same officer who arrested me. All for drugs they said weren't theirs. The prosecutor stands quickly. Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay and irrelevant. But Ben Crump is ready. Your Honor, I'm establishing a pattern that goes directly to the credibility of the arresting officers and the evidence in this case. Judge Thompson considers. I'll allow it, but be careful, Mr. Crump. Ben Crump nods. Ms. Williams, you said the same officer arrested these other women. Are you certain? Yes. Officer Daniels. Tall, white, shaved head. Same man who arrested me. The other women described him exactly. They all said the same thing happened. Routine traffic stop, searched without real cause, drugs suddenly found, arrested. All of them black women. All of them mothers. All of them swearing the drugs weren't theirs. Keisha looks directly at the 3 officers. And they're all sitting in jail right now because they couldn't afford bail either. Subscribe to our channel if you believe patterns of injustice need to be exposed, because what Ben Crump does next will change everything. Ben Crump pulls out a document. Ms. Williams, after you hired me 3 weeks ago, my team did something the Public Defender's Office didn't have resources to do. We filed a Freedom of Information Act request for Officer Daniels' arrest records for the past 2 years. Do you know what we found? Keisha shakes her head. Officer Daniels has made 43 drug-related arrests in the past 24 months. Want to guess how many were black women between the ages of 28 and 40? The courtroom leans forward. 37. 37 out of 43. That's 86%. The prosecutor is on his feet. Your Honor, this is outrageous. Mr. Crump is putting the police department on trial instead of his client. But Judge Thompson raises her hand. Mr. Mitchell, sit down. I want to hear this. Ben Crump continues, his voice rising with controlled intensity. But here's what's really interesting, Ms. Williams. Every single one of those 37 arrests happened the same way. Traffic stop. Search. Drugs found under passenger seat or in center console. Every single woman claimed the drugs weren't theirs. Every single case prosecuted. And do you know what else? Keisha is staring at him, hope flickering in her eyes for the first time. What? Not one of those arrests had body camera footage. Not one. Officer Daniels claimed equipment malfunction in all 37 cases. The courtroom erupts in murmurs. Judge Thompson bangs her gavel. Order. Mr. Crump, are you saying what I think you're saying? Ben Crump turns to face the judge directly. Your Honor, I'm saying that Officer Daniels has been systematically targeting black women, planting evidence, and falsifying reports for at least 2 years. And I can prove it. He holds up a USB drive. Because 3 weeks ago, we found the body camera footage. It wasn't malfunctioning. It was hidden. The courtroom explodes. Judge Thompson bangs her gavel repeatedly. Order. The 3 police officers in the back whisper frantically. The prosecutor looks genuinely stunned. Keisha stares at the USB drive in Ben Crump's hand like it's a miracle she doesn't dare believe in. Ben Crump's voice cuts through the chaos. Your Honor, with the court's permission, I'd like to play this footage right now. Judge Thompson doesn't hesitate. Bailiff, set up the screen. Mr. Mitchell approached the bench. The prosecutor walks forward, his face pale. Mr. Mitchell, did you know about this footage? Judge Thompson asks firmly. No, Your Honor. The police report stated all body cameras malfunctioned. Judge Thompson's eyes narrow. Then we're going to watch it. Both of you, back to your tables. Ben Crump inserts the USB drive. Your Honor, what you're about to see is body camera footage from Officer Daniels on March 15th. This footage was not provided in discovery, but I assure the court it's authentic. The screen flickers to life. The timestamp reads March 15th, 2:47 p.m. Officer Daniels sits in his patrol car with his partner Officer Reynolds. Their conversation makes everyone lean forward. You see that silver Honda? Officer Daniels says. That's the one. Officer Reynolds responds, You sure? She fits the profile? Officer Daniels laughs. Black woman, nice car, professional looking. She's got something to lose. Makes the arrest stats look good. Plus, she'll probably take a plea deal. The courtroom goes dead silent. Keisha's hand flies to her mouth. On screen, Officer Daniels reaches under his seat and pulls out a small plastic bag with white powder. He holds it up to the camera. Standard package. Always works. Let's go fishing. The patrol car pulls out and begins following Keisha's Honda. Ben Crump pauses the video. The frozen image shows Officer Daniels holding the drugs before he ever pulled Keisha over. You just watched Officer Daniels admit he's targeting an innocent woman and that he already has the drugs he plans to plant. Judge Thompson's face is stone. Continue. The video shows exactly what Keisha described. The traffic stop at the school. Keisha with hands on the steering wheel. Officer Daniels yelling. The cupcakes dumped. Then the camera catches everything. His hand goes to his pocket, pulls out the plastic bag and he shouts, I got something. Drugs under the passenger seat. But the bag came from his pocket, not the car. Keisha sobs with relief. Vindication. The proof she's been screaming about for 6 months is on screen. The video shows her arrest, Trinity coming out of school screaming for her mother. Everything validated. When it ends, silence fills the courtroom. Ben Crump turns to face the 3 officers in the back. Officer Daniels, Officer Reynolds, and Captain Morrison are all here today. And they're about to face justice. Judge Thompson's voice is cold steel. Bailiff, those 3 officers are not to leave this courtroom. Mr. Mitchell, I want the district attorney in my chambers immediately. She turns to Keisha. Ms. Williams, I'm dismissing all charges against you immediately. Furthermore, I'm ordering an investigation into every arrest Officer Daniels has made. On behalf of this court, I apologize. But Ben Crump isn't done. Your Honor, with respect, dismissing charges isn't enough. 37 women are sitting in jail cells or have felony convictions because of this man. Some have lost their children permanently. Some are serving prison sentences right now. His voice rises with righteous anger. I'm not just here to free Keisha Williams. I'm here to demand justice for every single woman Officer Daniels destroyed. What are you proposing, Mr. Crump? I'm filing a federal civil rights lawsuit against Officer Daniels, the officers involved, and the Atlanta Police Department. I'm requesting the FBI open an immediate investigation, and I'm demanding every single case Officer Daniels touched be reviewed and overturned." The courtroom erupts in applause. Keisha cries uncontrollably, her sister holding her. Ben Crump turns back to Keisha. "Ms. Williams, what Officer Daniels did to you wasn't just illegal. It was evil. He looked at you, saw a black woman with something to lose, and decided to destroy your life for statistics. But he made one mistake. He didn't count on you fighting back." Subscribe now for more moments where one person's courage exposes corruption affecting hundreds. Ben Crump addresses Judge Thompson, his voice carrying weight beyond one case. "Your Honor, Keisha Williams is not alone. In 3 weeks, my team identified 23 other women, all black, all arrested by Officer Daniels under identical circumstances. Traffic stops. Searches without cause. Drugs found conveniently. Body cameras that mysteriously malfunctioned. Every single woman said the same thing. The drugs weren't theirs." Judge Thompson leans back. 23 women? At least 23, Your Honor. Some are still in prison. Some took plea deals because they couldn't afford bail. Some lost custody of their children permanently. Keisha looks up. "There are others like me?" "Yes, Ms. Williams. That's why this case matters beyond clearing your name." Ben Crump continues. "Your Honor, I'm requesting this court work with the FBI to form a task force reviewing every case Officer Daniels touched. We need to examine evidence logs, review footage, interview victims, and identify every instance of evidence planting." The prosecutor stands, and for the first time, he looks angry at the right people. "Your Honor, the district attorney's office will cooperate fully. If this is true, we've been complicit in sending innocent women to prison. That's unacceptable." Keisha's voice cuts through, stronger now. "But why did he do this to us?" Ben Crump sits beside her. Officer Daniels was part of a specialized unit receiving federal funding based on drug arrest numbers. More arrests meant more funding, overtime pay, bonuses. He had financial incentive, and he found the easiest targets. Black women with stable lives, jobs, children. Women who would panic and take plea deals quietly. Keisha's hands ball into fists. "We weren't people to him. We were numbers." "Exactly. And that's what we're going to change." Judge Thompson speaks with authority. "This court is issuing several orders. All charges against Ms. Williams dismissed with prejudice. A task force will review every Officer Daniels arrest. I'm recommending mandatory body camera usage with severe penalties. And I'm ordering creation of a victim support fund to help women like Ms. Williams rebuild their lives." Keisha looks overwhelmed. "Why are you doing all this for me?" Judge Thompson's response is compassionate but firm. "I'm not just doing this for you. I'm doing this so no other woman has to sit where you're sitting. If we don't fix the system now, Officer Daniels was just the first one we caught." Ben Crump adds, "My firm is establishing a legal defense fund for the other 23 women. We're fighting to overturn their convictions, help them regain custody of their children, expunge their records, and file civil rights lawsuits. What happened to you will not happen to them in silence." For the first time, Keisha Williams smiles. Small but real. The smile of someone who finally believes justice might exist. "Thank you for believing me when no one else would." Ben Crump turns to face the courtroom, knowing his words will reach far beyond these walls. Ms. Williams came here today expecting to be convicted. She expected the system to fail her like it's failed so many black women before her. But today, we're showing that when you fight back, when you refuse to accept injustice, change is possible. He pauses, letting that sink in. "But we need to be practical. We need to make sure this never happens again." Judge Thompson nods. "Mr. Crump, what recommendations do you have?" First, immediate practical support for Ms. Williams. She lost her job, her home, her car, custody of her daughter. Dismissing charges doesn't undo 6 months of trauma and financial destruction. Ben Crump pulls out a folder. "My firm has already contacted her former employer. With these charges dismissed and evidence of wrongful arrest, they've agreed to reinstate her with back pay." Keisha gasps. Really? Really? We've also arranged for a civil rights attorney to file an emergency motion to restore your custody rights. With this video evidence, we're confident the judge will reverse the custody order immediately. Tears streamed down Keisha's face again, but these are different. These are tears of hope. I can get Trinity back? Yes. And we're not stopping there. We're suing Officer Daniels personally, the Atlanta Police Department, and the city for violating your civil rights. The compensation will help you rebuild everything they destroyed. Judge Thompson adds, Ms. Williams, this court is also issuing a formal apology to be placed in your record. Anyone who runs a background check will see that you were wrongfully arrested and the charges were dismissed due to police misconduct. Your name will be cleared completely. Ben Crump faces the gallery. To every black woman watching this, every mother, every daughter, every sister who's been targeted, profiled, or abused by those sworn to protect you, hear me clearly. If you are stopped by police, stay calm but know your rights. You do not have to consent to searches without probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to record interactions. And you have the right to fight back legally. If you're ever arrested for something you didn't do, do not take a plea deal just because you're scared. Find a lawyer who will fight for you. Organizations like the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, the ACLU, and my own firm will help if you cannot afford representation. Your silence protects predators. Your voice can save others. He pauses. To allies, to people who see injustice happening, don't just watch. Record it. Report it. Testify. Be a witness. Your privilege can be a shield for those who don't have it. Where are you watching from? Comment your city because police misconduct happens everywhere, and we all need to hold officers accountable. Ben Crump's voice grows firmer. To police officers who serve with integrity, and there are many, thank you. But to those who abuse your badge, who plant evidence, who target people because of their race, hear this clearly. We are coming for you. Every body camera, every witness, every pattern of behavior, we will find you. We will expose you. And we will make sure you never wear a badge again. To prosecutors and judges, do your job. Question suspicious evidence. Notice patterns. Believe victims when they tell you something isn't right. The system only works when every part of it demands truth. Judge Thompson stands, her voice carrying the weight of 30 years on the bench. This case will be studied in law schools. It will change police department policies. It will save lives. Ms. Williams, your courage to fight when everything seemed lost has created a ripple effect that will protect countless others. Keisha stands, her voice stronger than it's been all day. I just want other women to know, don't give up. I wanted to give up so many times. I thought about just accepting the plea deal because fighting seemed impossible. But Mr. Crump believed me. Judge Thompson believed me. And now my daughter will grow up knowing her mother fought back and won. The courtroom erupts in applause. 3 months after that Thursday morning in Courtroom 6B, the ripple effects of Keisha Williams' case continue to reshape Atlanta's justice system. Officer Daniels was arrested and charged with 37 counts of evidence tampering, civil rights violations, and conspiracy. Officer Reynolds faced similar charges. Captain Morrison resigned before charges were filed. The FBI investigation expanded to include 3 other officers in the same unit, and all are currently awaiting trial. Of the 23 women Ben Crump's team initially identified, 19 have had their convictions overturned. 4 are still in process. 12 women have regained custody of their children. The Atlanta Police Department implemented mandatory body camera policies with automatic suspensions for any officer whose camera mysteriously malfunctions. And the Georgia State Legislature passed the Keisha Williams Act, requiring independent review of all arrests where body camera footage is unavailable. But the most important change happened in Keisha Williams herself. She got her daughter back. Full custody restored. She returned to her job with back pay and a promotion. She found a new apartment. And she started speaking at community events, sharing her story, encouraging other women to fight back against injustice. I'm not just a survivor, Keisha said at a recent town hall. I'm proof that the system can change when we refuse to stay silent. Ben Crump's civil rights lawsuit resulted in a $2.3 million settlement for Keisha, with additional settlements for the other 22 women totaling over $15 million. But more valuable than money was the message sent: targeting innocent people, especially black women, will not be tolerated. Every officer in Atlanta now knows that body cameras protect everyone, accountability is real, and justice, though slow, can prevail. Keisha Williams' story proves that justice means believing victims even when it's inconvenient, protecting the vulnerable even when it's difficult, and using every tool available to stop those who abuse power. Ben Crump proved that real advocacy isn't just about winning cases. It's about dismantling systems of oppression, exposing patterns of abuse, and creating change that protects entire communities for generations. To every person watching this who's ever felt powerless against a system designed to crush you, remember Keisha's words: don't give up. One person believing you can change everything. One lawyer willing to dig deeper can expose decades of corruption. One judge willing to listen can overturn hundreds of wrongful convictions. Your voice matters. Your story matters. Your fight for justice matters. Subscribe to our channel right now for more powerful moments where one person's courage to seek justice creates change that protects countless others. Hit that subscribe button because we're building a community that believes in accountability, fights for the vulnerable, and refuses to let injustice hide in the shadows. At 600,000 subscribers, we're proving that people care about real justice, and together, we're amplifying voices that deserve to be heard. Comment below. Have you or someone you know experienced injustice from those in power? Share your story. Your comment might help someone else find the courage to fight back. And if this video moved you, share it. Because somewhere right now, there's another Keisha Williams sitting in a courtroom thinking no one will believe her. Let's prove her wrong. Let's show her that justice, though imperfect, is still worth fighting for.